Now, when you think about fundamentally how SaaS makes money, like how does this core business model work? I think like this is really critical to understand as a salesperson. And it's important to note that not all of them have the same way of generating revenue from users. You probably see 4 key dimensions on which this sort of model gets priced. And those are flat rate pricing, per active user pricing or per user pricing, usage-based pricing, and then feature-based pricing. So if you think about flat rate pricing, pretty simple. You've got say like $20 a month. That's how much the product costs. However many users or whatever features, it's just one fee. And this is kind of like a very simple model. You often see it for smaller applications. Per user pricing is a very, very common one. And I'm sure you'd see this in a lot of tools you folks might have used before. But this is essentially where, a company might pay $5 per user per month for everyone that's using the application. Usage-based pricing, a little bit different there, where you're paying for a certain action to be taken. So this could be to do with say like cloud storage, or it could be a search query, but you're pricing on the action itself rather than number of users. And then finally, feature-based pricing this is quite common in the consumer world as well, where there's often different pricing tiers. And in order to access certain features, you have to pay a higher price, kind of like your pro features. Cool. Yeah. So maybe walking through just a couple of examples. I think you guys gave some great ones. In terms of flat rate pricing, it's worth noting this one's actually less common in the tech industry today. Oftentimes they'll try to scale via users or usage or features, but you do see it for some products like Ninja One, one of our partner companies. They just charge $20 for like having a certain software for a certain device. Per active user pricing or per user pricing, you'll see like Zoom uses that, Canva uses that, Atlassian uses that. Very, very common in team collaboration tools. Usage-based pricing is interesting. You often see it in finance-related products or cloud storage-related products, automation products, where you're performing a process again and again. And then finally, feature-based pricing. We've got a couple company partners there like BuildPass, Matrack, Yotpo, who adopt this model. LinkedIn's a great example as well, where you can buy different tiers and get more features of search and messaging. And you might be thinking, hang on a minute, like I feel like, maybe like say Canva, for instance. I think we saw Canva called out, it's like, hang on, that's got feature-based pricing and user-based pricing. So what's going on there? And the important thing to note is that these are not mutually exclusive. In fact, yes, several companies will blend multiple of these as their pricing strategy. These are all just different lenses that you can adopt. So yeah, you often see this in tiered pricing, where different tiers might segment on multiple of these variables. So here is an example where it's like you can actually see a product doing both, per user and feature. So yeah, it's important to note from a strategy perspective that, it doesn't just have to be one of these things. You'll also note up top that it's like, you see this kind of, hang on, monthly, annual, and annual's 20% off. And you go, hang on a minute, why are we doing that sort of thing? Why is it that we'd offer a discount for annual plans? I think you guys probably nailed the 2 kind of core themes there, which is one is like just kind of improving cash flow. So getting money through the door earlier, and you can use that on other things as a business, but then also by locking them into that longer contract, you reduce the risk that they churn and leave the product.